Welcome to Inside the Cup Garage. This is Roy J. Akers reporting. With us, we have 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie, thanks for giving us 10 minutes of your time in this viewer bag, where fans will ask 2 questions after I ask the initial one. Jimmie, here comes my question. The Mexico City race gained international news and fans. How did that impact your team, your sponsors, and the NASCAR sport?
I think Mexico City was a little challenging in some respects because sponsorship was sold, and many of them are domestic companies. And what good is that going to do for a company in Mexico? But as we got back from that and learned and saw the impact that we had on Prime, it's like, wow, there were so many people that tuned in. Well, that's a win. So until we have the race and can reflect back on it, it's hard to make really educated comments on it. But I would say the Mexico City event had some headwinds internally as we looked at our sponsors, and we took sponsors down there that are all domestic. But when we came back and reviewed everything and saw the eyeballs, it was a win, and it worked out really well for us. And so, again, it's just going to take a little time to figure out how to work this around. But I again applaud NASCAR for being aggressive and taking us to new markets.
And our first question from the fans, John from Huntsville, Alabama asked, Jimmie, are you still racing after unofficially retiring after the 2020 season? And do you plan on running more races in the future? And with San Diego on the schedule, is there any chance you race there? Jimmie, that was a big question. That sounds like it came from a reporter.
Who knows? And we'll have to do some planning over the off season. I want to keep going. I want to stay in a car. I think it's good for us. We're hopeful to have a third charter, need to start building a team, and there's a chance that I run more races next year if we have a third charter on the docket and have a sponsor to bring along, team members to groom, a crew chief to get reps, a driver to get reps. So there are a lot of scenarios that are in play, and I'm hopeful I can keep going. But I certainly don't want to feed you guys a line of BS here. There also is a scenario where that would make sense, but we have put zero effort into the idea yet at this point. But I have more years in me, and I want to keep going.
Fantastic question, Jimmie, from a fan. After we return from the break, Jimmie, we have one more fan question, and that happens next.
When I want to go behind the scenes coverage of NASCAR, I go Inside the Cup Garage on YouTube and all social media channels.
Inside the Cup Garage is a weekly look at NASCAR brought to you by NASCAR media members, where we analyze races, bring you stories, and interview the drivers and team personnel that shape the sport. We give insight, provide stories, and opinions that are informed. Check us out on all Inside the Cup Garage channels and all podcast platforms, and our Inside the Cup Garage YouTube channel.
This August, a full-throttle festival comes to upstate New York. Camp under the stars, then witness the brightest stars of NASCAR battle for a crucial playoff spot. NASCAR Weekend at Watkins Glen. Get your tickets now at theglen.com.
Jimmie, our final question comes from Alexis from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. She asked this, is SVG the greatest road racer in NASCAR history?
Man, it's tough to put that label on the guy. 2 seasons into driving stock cars, but the conversation is warranted, and I think time will tell. But he is in another stratosphere compared to road course racers. Seeing him up against Tony Stewart at his peak, that would have been an interesting moment in time to kind of see peak to peak. Even Jeff Gordon, that we've had drivers go on a run on road courses in the past. The greatest of all time, I think that is kind of given to someone over a long duration of time versus just a couple of years. But the skills he has, and if he stays in the sport for 5-10 years, in my mind, in the way I view it, I would then start to think greatest of all time. But fastest guy to be in a car, like that conversation in a cup car, that conversation is timely. Greatest of all time. We just need more sample sets to choose from.
Well, Jimmie, these were all great questions. Thank you for the time. That is all the time that we have for this episode. To check out Inside the Cup Garage, please subscribe to us on all podcast channels, the YouTube channel, and on our website published right here. Thanks again. This has been Roy J. Akers from Skyview's Motorsports Desk. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning in.
Get the restart zone for the initial start of the race. Now challenging back to the inside of turn 2.
Crossover move. Van Gisbergen trying to get there.
Uh-oh. 24 looks like he's out of power now. Yeah, 24 is just really struggling. They had this car in pieces after the crash in practice.